You know, when you start a preservation project like the size of the Kibbey building, you don't know what you're going to get into when you start it. If you're the kind of person that needs that confirmation, then this is probably not your decision. But in reality, we're not developers. We just had a passion for preservation and history and keeping our downtown thriving and beautiful. And at the time that the building was available, we said, well, there's one little spot that's up to code that we could rent that out and work on the whole building for years until we could get it done. But it would not be a failure, no matter how far we came with it. The only thing that would be a failure is if we didn't take the plunge. So we went ahead and did purchase it and just started. That's the bottom line. You just start, you find the people that know the information. You work the pathways. There are many, many sources of funding for projects like this, and there's many people that are willing to join with you to give you that guidance in the project like this. So it has been a wonderful learning experience, exciting and invigorating experience, and I hope that when you watch this show that you'll feel some of that energy and enthusiasm that we feel, and we've really enjoyed bringing this to you. We're here at the front of the Kibbey building. 1895 was when it was originally built by Dr. Kibbey. He was a physician and a surgeon, and every day he would climb the stairs to go up to his office, along with many other professionals. There would have been streetcars going by, horse and buggies, little ladies with their long dresses, puffy hats, and men with their hats. But that was a beautiful time for this building, and over the 120 years it suffered quite a bit of damage, mishap repairs, glass revisions, storefront changes, and that's just part of civilization. But now we want to take it back, repair it, make it look like it was 1895 again. We'll have a door here, a door up to the stairs, and back over here we'll have another door. It's going to be grand. There was this old building on Main Street called the Kibbey building. Old, dilapidated, run down, bricks falling out. It was a disaster. Storefronts that were not attractive. And it came up for sale, and we said, you know, that would be a fun project. Why don't we buy it and start renovating it and put our own special touch in it and preserve a little bit of history? There were several professionals that worked up there, and we're going to be renovating it into 4 apartments. And the downstairs will be renovated into retail and restaurant accommodation. You'd never know it now, but this was the site of a 3-story building that burned during an arson fire about 4 years ago. Soon, with this construction project, it's going to become a green space. Stormwater management funds will help to transform this whole area into a gorgeous park for the community. We'll have water features. The rainwater off of the roof will flow down into the greenery that needs watering. They'll have a pergola here with solar panels. I mean, I can see it all in my mind, but it's not quite there yet. I'm here today with Jenny Etter, Director of the Central Business District, and we're on the first floor today because there's so much noise and commotion and demo and construction going on upstairs that this is about the quietest place that we could find. And I wanted to just thank Jenny and the Board of Directors with that in helping us acquire the Kibbey building, in writing and helping me figure out how to do a grant, and also being a liaison with our community and all the different organizations and getting communication going to make this happen. Thanks to them, we were able to get a Main Street, Iowa Challenge grant for $75,000 to kick off this project. And we're so excited about that. And then also the Central Community Development Block Grant is what it's called. Too many acronyms get me confused, but the block grant is for the residential portion upstairs and for the stormwater management project that we'll be doing outside in the park that we've seen a little bit about. So it's quite exciting, but most of all, just being a cheerleader for this project, and thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. This was an easy project to get behind. We have many projects going on downtown, the Tall Corn Building, Iowa Wholesale Building, all kinds of facade improvements going on downtown. So it's been really supported by the city, who also gave you an individual incentive grant for the facade improvement and building code upgrade. So we're really appreciative of the city as well.
Well, this project wouldn't have happened, that's all I can say, if we didn't have the grants and the support of our community. They have a program called the Code Improvement, and that fixes everything from sprinkler systems to light fixtures to heat and water and plumbing. And then there's also a facade. And in this project for the Kibbey, over the next year and a half, we will be doing the Main Street facade. And hope you get to see the before on that as well. Yeah, they used to have the haunted house in here with the JCs for a while. And that's why it's all painted black. Got a little problem here, but a lot of crap. Pretty soon it'll look good. We're on the second floor of the Kibbey building, and probably one of Dr. Kibbey's offices. But as you can see, we've got our work cut out for us. We're trying to save as many old windows as we can. And we'll get to refurbish the brick, leave that exposed. This will become a living room for one of the apartments. And, you know, amongst all this stuff, take off this old crap. And, you know, I think it's going to be nice. A couple of months. The contractor showed up. This is the first time that this building upstairs has had this much light. Two guys showed up and they started dismantling the trim boards that are probably 100 years old. We're maintaining all of this historic qualities that are up here, and eventually we'll have 4 apartments. They'll be loft type apartments, so trendy, some brick, wood floors, and we're sitting here August 5th of 2015, and it's been a year coming before we could even get in here to do any kind of demo. So I, needless to say, am very relieved that this is starting. They project it to be about a 1-year project to get these up to livable conditions. But as you can see, there's going to be a lot of work. We're planning to put a skylight back in. We're planning to have doors to each apartment in the 4 quadrants, and back fire escape and a nice stairway. It'll be the original stairway from 1895. This used to be a doctor's office and a real estate office. It had a variety of tenants in here, of course. There was a dentist, there was a bank. The safe is still in the back. No money though, but I'm looking forward to seeing what we can find behind these hidden walls. There's even a ghost sign over here in one of these little rooms, and we're going to be able to salvage a little bit of that brick wall. Probably for the past 12 months, the pigeons have been living up here, and the bats, and a raccoon was living in the basement. But I'm glad to see the guys are starting to do some work. Well, I'm standing in the old safe from the Iowa Savings and Loan Bank back in the 1900s. The door went someplace between here and there, but I wish it was still around. We got this, we got concrete out here, and we got a little bit of work to do, but you know, there's going to be a future. This is the old brick wall. We're going to be able to salvage that, clean it up a little bit. It'll be perfect. This will be like the TV room of the apartment. And, you know, 12 months from now, I'll be in an apartment. We've got limestone crumbling down here. We've got glass breaking out. We have mishmash of construction projects over the years, pieces of steel. Eventually, this building will get taken back and restored to its 1895 design, which had 2 entrances, one here and one back here, plus this center door that went up to Dr. Kibbey's office. The back of the Kibbey building is not a whole lot better than the front. I think it's worse. This old fire escape, who knows how long it's been here. The windows boarded up, the old electrical systems. It needs a transformation really bad. I've lived downtown in an upper story building for 20 years, and I like that whole loft artist kind of feel that has been developed through many cities throughout the United States. So we knew that our Main Street could have some more upper story housing. You want to keep your downtown vital and prospering and developing, and the only way you can really do that is to get people living downtown and participating and going to restaurants and feeding the rest of the businesses that are downtown. So we started the project of doing the upper story renovation. That was our first plan, phase 1. And then phase 2, we haven't got to that yet, but that'll be the commercial space renovation. As far as we know, this was Dr. Kibbey's office at one time, maybe 120 years ago, and many people's offices. But right now what we're working on is salvaging the historic brick and the wood trim and bringing it back to life. I'm standing right now in the common area of the Kibbey building. In the old days, it would have been the waiting room for the doctor's offices that were surrounding the perimeter. We're going to actually leave the historic design from the doctor's offices, and then this will be the walkway. There'll be HVAC units here in the middle and water heaters, just because we had to put them someplace, but it's still going to be a lovely, lovely entryway. I'm in the kitchen. They've got it framed up for the cabinets, it looks like. There'll be an island out here, kind of a trendy one as a matter of fact. This stud wall, as you can see, it's in front of cement blocks, and that's because this whole wall was taken out during the fire that was in the building next to us that was demolished. But it's amazing how much they have done in a week. Just amazing. There's probably been 10, 15 guys here working, and working fast. Joe, did you want me to help you? I'm ready. Harry, John, anybody need some help? I mean, I asked them if they wanted some help, but this really wasn't what I was thinking about. I've only got one good foot. Jeez. We're in one of the apartments right now, and I'm very enthused about the brick walls that we uncovered behind the old plaster lath that was dropping off of the walls. And it's going to be really terrific when the windows get put in, and as you can see right now, they're fixing the sill of one of the windows. It turned out the way these structures were built in the 1900s, the building that was on the corner, which was the one that burned down, it was up first. And then they piggybacked and put this building up, and some of the windows were closed in on that building. I mean, they had mutual windows. And then the following building was built, and the roofing and the windows don't line up at all. So they had to do a little bit more work here, and but it's all evolving. We've got some great studs going on, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next step. According to the fire code, of course, we're going to be having complete separation between the 4 apartments upstairs and between the 2nd floor and the 1st floor. So they have put in the beginning firewall between this unit right here, and had to get that placed so that they could get the stud wall going in front of it. And eventually there'll be many more 5/8 inch sheetrocks between and around and above and below in this unit, and the sprinkler systems will be added, and that's down the road. But right now we're doing very well at the interior of this building. You know, I'm kind of having a bad hair day today. Actually, I'm a lot like my wired hair terrier at home. Well, the electricians are here, and they've got their spool, and you know, they give me this and they say pull some wire. Whatever. But the guys are pulling wire all through the apartments, and that's good news. Putting the boxes on. There's like 500 boxes between the outlets and the switches and the fixtures and the fire alarms and the strobe lights, and goes on and on. I'm learning a lot about wire. These beautiful arched windows on the north side of the Kibbey building are being restored to their natural historic beauty. So the frame right now is being stripped and will get all cleaned up and back to a beautiful finish. And the insides with the weights and the ropes and the glass and the wood frames, those had to go back to the shop to get rehabilitated. They take them apart, they improve the wood and fix whatever's broken, and then they'll come back and surprise, it'll be like magic. They'll show up and I'll say, oh, isn't that pretty? I was so happy to hear when the architect wanted to maintain the skylights in this room, and that our budget was going to be able to afford it, because the skylights back in the 1900s would have been a critical part of anyone up here in the office being able to function. They had these interior windows, and the light from the skylight would have conveyed into their offices. Well, now our skylights are already been framed in, and we'll put 2 up there and maintain the historicness of that little opening. So that's cool. You know, we've never talked about floors, and I am pretty excited about the wood floors up here. It's total wood. That's what's going to be maintained. But the interesting feature is that probably back in the 1900s, when it was built up here, it was made out of fir, which I learned is a part of pine. I didn't know that. So all this is fir. Well, then a tenant came in and wanted a better floor some year in the century, and they installed a maple floor. So this back half will become maple, and it'll all get refinished, and we'll make an adjustment here. We'll have to kind of have a little threshold that has a little roll down to it, you know, appropriately. But the floors are huge maintenance. There have been thousands of nails, little tiny nails in them, because of the different linoleums and carpets and other things that other tenants have put down on them. All require nails. And then that all requires labor on somebody's part to pop those nails out. And I have a strong appreciation for the people that have to do that work. The interesting and, of course, challenging part about historic renovations is the unknown. And as they demoed this top floor, of course, they ran into this big steel guy. And it's structurally necessary, so they have talked to the structural engineer, and they have told us that we can put 2 beams on the side that will be enclosed in the stud frame wall. And then after we've got those reinforced, then we can take this guy out, and it'll all be a smooth hallway down to the center common area where the people can go to their apartments. This old brick wall was destroyed in a blazing fire, and as you can tell, needs a whole lot of work. But once it's transformed with a new facade, we'll have beautiful landscaping over here, and over here is an exciting new green wall that will be irrigated by the rainwater coming off the roof. Well, this is Triple H Hard Hat Hagstrand. Some people are calling me Hard-Headed Hagstrand. This is the best view in town. And soon, oh my gosh, it's a long way down there, but soon this will even be filled in. No more doors, no more windows on this wall. The grader is getting all that land emptied out so they can start the wall repair. And it'll take them about 3 weeks and they'll have the wall done. I'm shocked. Well, 4 years ago, this wall was damaged in an arson fire and the whole building actually burned down, and now we've been left with this ugly wall. So in order to fix it, the contractor is basically building a new wall in front of the old wall. And today, as you can see, we've got lots of great action going on, and I'm ready for it with my hard hat and my excitement, and the weather's great. I think of this as kind of a social thing. Anyway, today they're pouring the concrete for the footings. And the footings will run about this wide and the whole length of the building. And they're about 8 feet down in the ground. The guys are still down there forming up the walls, but soon you'll see the concrete coming out of the tubes and filling the trough that they have. It'll be about, I believe, 3-4 feet tall. The footing starts, and then tomorrow they'll be laying the block, which is over here. So all in all, we're building a whole new facade right in front. These basic blocks will be underground. And then at ground level, we'll start with a new pretty block that's called burnished block, and it'll be a color, and it'll have a colored mortar, and it'll be the backdrop for a beautiful park that's going into this vacant lot. There, it's Barb Hagstrand, Hard Hat Hagstrand they call me, or maybe the subcontractors call me Triple H. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, it's exciting here now. I found myself buried in trouble, you might say, and all the contractors are here. Action is happening finally. They dug up an old concrete foundation, and the plan is to get this wall beautiful. They told me to go downstairs and get the Sawzall. And they had a Sawzall right near them. I wonder if they just don't want me to be there with them. Well, anyway, I'm going to use this opportunity to take a break because down in the basement, it's like nobody can get me. Ugh. Some people say I don't really work, but I'm the supervisor. You know how that goes when you're in charge. Anyway, I love this project and I hate this project, but that's what restoration's like. It just brings you to the invigoration that you always wanted, and then pretty soon when it's raining and they're slow and projects are out of whack, then you got the other extreme. But all in all, I wouldn't trade it for a thing. I hope you've enjoyed watching the projects that have been going on for the last many months. As you can tell, I mean, I've been in the winter cold. You've seen me with the scarf and the hat and the mittens, and then I was 105 degrees. So we're going through time, let alone I had a broken ankle, my hair is short, my hair is long. Time. It's all about time and working as best as they can.